Ron Chernow life's career and contributions. Full name, Ronald Chernow. Birth and family background. Full name, Ronald Chernow. Date of birth, March 3, 1949. Place of birth, Brooklyn, New York City, USA. Heritage, Jewish American. Fam far, Shrael Chernow. Owner of a discount store. Mother, Ruth Chernow. Bookkeeper. Grew up in a middle-class household in Queens. Early life and education. High school. Attended Forest Hills High School, Queens, New York. Known as a bright and ambitious student with a strong interest in literature and mid, Millez, Lipstick Ruby, Kiss, Only Ruby Kiss. Only Ruby Kiss has the luxurious texture that glides on sears and leave ease, muse, moo, mew, moo, move. Millez, Deplied. My Millez, we seek, we upright. So, it quote, my Millez, may seed, migwise it perwits it in relas it, God correct he me unsele led. History College Education, Yale University, 196-61970. Degree, Bachelor of Arts in English Literature, graduated summa cum laude with highest honors. Member of Phi Beta Kappa Academic Honor Society, served as valedictorian of his class. Pembroke College, Cambridge University, UK, pursued graduate studies in English literature, intended to earn a PhD, but left the program before completion. Shifted interest from academia to journalism and public writing. Key influences: early exposure to literature, history, and classical studies at Yale and Cambridge shaped his narrative style and scholarly rigor. Decided to pursue non-academic writing to reach broader audiences, leading him to journalism and later biography. Early career: Ron Chernow. Early career transition from academia to journalism after leaving graduate studies at Cambridge University. Chernow chose not to pursue an academic path. Instead, he turned to journalism and freelance writing, aiming to make history and finance accessible to general readers. Freelance financial journalism. 1970s, 1980s, specialized in writing about business, finance, and economics. Contributed to major U.S. and international publications: New York Times, The Wall Street Journal, The New Republic, The Atlantic Monthly. The Washington Post developed a reputation for clear, analytical reporting on complex financial subjects. Early work in business writing in the 1980s became a prominent voice on Wall Street, writing about corporate mergers, banking scandals, stock market dynamics, historical evolution of finance in America's strong grasp of both economic policy and human stories allowed him to write deeply contextual pieces, laying the groundwork for his future as a biographer. Breakthrough into historical biography, 1990. Chernow published his first major book, The House of Morgan, a sweeping history of the Morgan banking dynasty. This book blended his financial expertise with historical narrative, marking his transition from journalist to full-time biographer. Awarded National Book Award for Nonfiction, 1990. It became an instant success and established him as a historian of American power. New York Times, his role at the New York Times position: freelance contributor, not a full-time staff reporter. Focus areas: finance and economics, Wall Street trends, business. History profiles of major corporations and financial institutions. Skills: he showcased simplifying complex financial topics for the public, combining analytical thinking with narrative storytelling, demonstrating an early ability to trace long-term historical patterns in economic behavior, skills that became trademarks in his later biographies. Impact of his NYT work helped build his reputation as a credible financial journalist, gained access to key sources, institutions, and archives, laid the foundation for his debut book, The House of Morgan, 1990, a history of the Morgan financial empire. Fun fact: even as Chernow shifted to full-length biographies, his writing retained the clarity, pacing, and precision typical of a seasoned journalist, traits likely sharpened during his time contributing to the New York Times and similar publications. Major biographical works: The House of Morgan An American Banking Dynasty and the Rise of Modern Finance 1990 subject. J.P. Morgan and the Morgan Banking Empire, 1838 to 1989 focus power. Capitalism, Finance, and the Evolution of Modern Banking Awards National Book Award for Nonfiction Impact launched Chernow's career as a respected historian. Praised for blending financial analysis with narrative history significance, considered one of the best business books ever written. The Warburgs, the 20th Century Odyssey of a Remarkable Jewish Family. 1993 subject. The Warburg Family. German Jewish bankers focus banking, immigration, anti-Semitism, and identity in the 20th century reception. Acclaimed for emotional depth and cultural insight. Style, multi-generational family saga with historical and financial depth. Titan. The Life of John D. Rockefeller. A case. SR 1998 subject. John D. Rockefeller, Sr., founder of Standard Oil, Focus Wealth, Philanthropy, Monopolies, and the Moral Paradox of Capitalism reception, widely regarded as the definitive Rockefeller biography. Impact balanced portrayal of Rockefeller as both ruthless businessman and visionary philanthropist. The House of Morgan, 1990 author, Ron Chernow. Published 1990 award, National Book Award for Nonfiction. House of Morgan is a sweeping financial history of the J.P. Morgan banking empire, covering a period of over 150 years. It traces the rise, influence, and transformation of Morgan banking from its 19th century origins through its global reach in the late 20th century. Structure of the book is divided into 4 parts, each representing a different era of Morgan banking. The Baronial Age, 1838 to 1913, focuses on J. Pierpont Morgan and the age of personal, family-run finance. The Diplomatic Age, 1913-1948, covers the firm's growing involvement in global politics and wars. Casino, age 1948 to 1989, explores the rise of speculative finance and deregulation in post-war America. The Fourth Age deals with the fragmentation of the Morgan legacy and the modern financial era. Main figures covered: Junius Spencer Morgan, founder of the Morgan legacy. J. Pierpont Morgan, titan of finance, dominated Wall Street in the Gilded Age. Morgan, son of Pierpont, played a diplomatic role during WWI. Numerous executives and bankers from J.P. Morgan & Co., Morgan Stanley, and Morgan Grenfell. Key themes: power and capitalism. How Morgan bankers shaped American industry, railroads, steel, and finance. Ethics of finance. The tension between private banking influence and public accountability. World events. The firm's role in 2 world wars, the Great Depression, and global diplomacy. Transformation. The shift from elite, club-like banking to a more aggressive, market-driven finance. World's critical reception. National Book Award for Nonfiction, 1990, widely praised for depth of research. Narrative style, ability to explain finance through biography. Still considered one of the best business books ever written. Why It Matters. Mark Ron Chernow's breakthrough into historical biography blended economic history, biography, and narrative nonfiction set the tone for his later works. Biographies of individuals who shaped American institutions, public speaking, and media appearances. 2018 White House Correspondents Dinner. Keynote speaker. Date: April 28, 2018. Role: featured speaker at the annual Washington/D.C. event, traditionally attended by U.S. presidents, politicians, journalists, and celebrities. Message: spoke about the importance of truth, historical memory, and journalistic integrity, urged the press to remain respectful but unafraid and stay committed to facts in an era of alternative truths. The speech was notably non-comedic, scholarly, and filled with historical references rare for this event. Quote, "Freedom of the press is not just important to democracy. It is democracy." TV and documentary appearances. Chernow has been featured in numerous high-profile documentaries and TV specials related to American history. PBS's American experience as a historical expert in episodes about Hamilton. Washington and finance expand in-depth interviews about his research process, biography subjects, and political history. Yen Burns documentaries, commentary contributor, The Roosevelts. The Civil War History Channel and Smithsonian Channel. Expert insights on presidential leadership and American capitalism lectures. And Talks. Chernow is a frequent guest speaker at universities Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Columbia Historical Societies and Museums, Presidential Libraries, George Washington's Mount Vernon, Ulysses S. Grant Presidential Library, literary festivals, and book tours. Topics he often speaks on: American Founding Fathers' leadership. In War and Politics, ethics of power and finance, the art and craft of biography, writing podcasts, and interviews featured on The Daily NYT. Fresh Air with Terry Grost, The Ezra Klein Show, book notes with Brian Lamb. C-SPAN, known for his calm, intellectual delivery and thoughtful analysis of both his subjects and modern American political parallels. Cultural collaborations, worked directly with Lin-Manuel Miranda as the historical consultant for the Broadway musical Hamilton, helped ensure accuracy in the story's portrayal of Alexander Hamilton. Chernow occasionally introduces the show at special performances or fundraisers.